The ending of The Bluest Eye surprised me. I don't really know what exactly I was expecting to have happened at the end, but I do know that what happened was not what I expected. Morrison leaves the novel very open-ended, with Charlie and Sammy gone, the people of the town avoiding Pecola, and Pecola and her mother moving into a new house. What happened to Pecola horrified me, disgusted me. It made me extremely upset. And her interactions in the last half of the book with her imaginary friend, pretty much made me want to cry. Pecola was so traumatized by everything that happened to her, that she did indeed fall into madness. That's one of the quotes. And she wanders the dumpsters and believes that she has the prettiest blue eyes of all. And going back to my previous theory in my last vlog, that the tensions between Claudia and Pecola would rise to a breaking point, that obviously did not happen. Literally, it didn't happen literally. It wasn't said that it happened, but it kind of happened. When Claudia and Frida decided to plant the seeds, and when the seeds didn't sprout, it was kind of like the tension between the two girls, well, between all three of the girls, building and reaching a breaking point when the seeds didn't sprout. Claudia and Frida no longer talk to Pecola because they feel as though they failed her, and didn't realize that none of it was their fault, until it was really, really late. Looking at the quote, the bird-like gestures were worn away to a mere picking and plucking her way between the tire rims and the sunflowers, between Coke bottles and milkweed, among all the waste and beauty of the world, which is what she herself was. All of our waste, which we dumped on her and which she absorbed. I know we talked about this in class. I think that I would like to give my own interpretation, though it's similar to what we talked about during class. This quote, among so many, I felt drawn to and had a strong feeling about. It sets up a very depressing scene, one where Pecola, who is by this time in the future a mere shell of the girl that she once was, walking around and picking through a place where the world dumped their garbage off. And it's very sad, but it also kind of fits, as the quote says, because she went through so much in her life that she herself essentially became garbage, which is very bad to say, but let me explain. She was thrown away like the rest of the things in the dumpster, and a scene and description of Pecola is important because I think that she represents what society, like what happens when obsession is taken too far, or when society abandons those it deems unworthy of its love. So, like, going back to the imaginary friend, that's a little bit, earlier in this vlog, but, in class, we raised a question on, what the significance of having an imaginary friend would mean, and I think that the significance is that she was so traumatized by what happened to her, and, everything that happened to her just kind of compiled into too much for an 11-year-old girl to take. And so what happened was she honestly could not take it and had to split off a part of herself, I guess, and really that would help her cope. It's a type of coping mechanism, if you will. Her not being able to deal or cope with everything that happened to her, like by herself, because her father left her. Her father who raped her and impregnated her left her, and then her brother left, and then her mother beat the crap out of her when she found out that she was raped by her dad, and the whole town is avoiding her. She has no one to talk to, so she created her own imaginary friend, who she could talk to about her eyes.